Okay, guys, I'm here for another Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode review. I'm just going to make it another two episode reviews in one here, and I'm looking at episode 7 and episode 8. Episode 7 is Need for Speed, and episode 8 was called Caught Red Handed. They are the second and third episodes of the Galactic Rangers saga. This is just because I'm a week late in episode 7, so I'm just going to do a double review like I did last week, and then just wait for the hiatus, and then I'll go back to the individual episodes reviews. So, episode 7, Need for Speed, starts with Sarah's trying to break the world hoverboard speed record. Okay, that's a thing, interestingly enough. And she does look good until some mysterious hoverboard rider comes zooming past her and actually breaks the world record, and is perceived to be Victor, who to get his 50th trophy. But that might come into play later in something. And Sarah obsesses over this. She tries to find ways to make her hoverboard go faster so she can break that record. Now, at the same time, the second of the Galactic Ninjas comes to Summer Cove, named Speedwing. His ninja power is super speed. Okay. Why do these ninjas have basic superhero things in terms of powers? Don't ninjas not use supers? I don't know much about ninjas, but I imagine I know that they use stealth and stuff like that, but I've never known a ninja use super speed, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the Speedwing is really fast for the Rangers, and you can't really stop them. They can't really stop him, but they do trip him up, and that's what stops him, and then he retreats. But he leaves behind his little medallion, and Sarah decides to use his medallion on her hoverboard to break that record. Now, Mick notices this and says it's probably not the smartest thing for Sarah to be doing, using monster technology to break a record. Sarah is not paying attention to that, so using Speedwing's medallion, she breaks that record, obviously, and gets a trophy back from Victor. But in the process, when Speedwing comes back to get it, the medallion ends up in Brody's helmet, and it makes Brody just not be able to stop running. Okay. So anyway, Sarah realizes her mistake of using alien technology to power her hoverboard for that. And by using the same trick, they stop Brody and get the medallion off of Speedwing. Off of Brody and put it back on Speedwing, and then he starts going in super excelling fashion. And they destroy him using their weapon blast and all that. And then he gets gigantified, and the Rangers summon their Zord, and Speedwing is destroyed. But Odious ends up with his medallion added to Wolverine's, because she's making something out with these medallions. So Sarah says that as much of an honor it is to have the world hoverboard speed record, she doesn't want it the way she got it, and that she hands the trophy back, which Victor assumes goes to him, except it is later revealed that the person who beat Sarah the first time was a mannequin, because Victor was in camouflage and Monty was getting the mannequin ready, and Victor showed up and all that. So basically, I realized that Victor cheated and all that stuff. Yeah. That was Need for Speed. Was it any good? Not exactly. These past few episodes have not exactly been the best of Sarah's character, because this royally makes her very, very selfish. Because she cares about a meaningless record that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if she has the world hoverboard record. You know, And yeah, she learned the moral of the day that you don't need to take shortcuts, but still, this isn't, So was this episode any better than episodes 5 and 6? No, actually, I don't think it was any better than 5, and I don't think it was any better than 6. I think they're all on equal ground right now. Episode 8, however, was a tad bit of a different story. And that brings me to episode 8, aired just yesterday. Caught Red-Handed, an episode that I at first thought was going to be filler going into hiatus, but they did prove me wrong. So it starts with all the students in their one classroom, because apparently there's only 2 teachers in this school. Actually, there's one. There's a teacher you would normally see. There's Principal Hastings, and then there's Mick, and we barely see Mick even teaching a class. He was seen teaching a shop class in episode 7, but the only person he interacted with was Sarah. So really, there are no teachers in this school. But anyway, Principal Hastings, they're all getting ready for this camping trip. And Principal Hastings brings her grandmother's compass, or grandfather's compass, or some antique compass that Brody says he played with that kind of compass as a kid. Now, Victor and Monty have this net gun. They have this net gun because they want to try to capture the legendary rhinoceros monster in the forest. And wouldn't you know, being Victor and Monty, the thing doesn't work. It traps Principal Hastings, and then when they get it off, they notice that her compass is missing, and she notices that it is in Brody's backpack. So she thinks Brody stole it, which Brody denies. So Brody joins Victor and Monty in detention. Victor and Monty are, of course, in detention because of the dumb net thing. And Principal Hastings says, do not go through the door because there's a camera out there. Now, the other Rangers want to stay in detention with Brody, but he tells them to go camping, and they go camping. Now, Victor and Monty use this, go through the ceiling or something to get out of the classroom to avoid going through the door, and that's how Brody gets out when he hears the call that there's a monster in the area. That monster is Galactic Ninja number 3, Rygor, I believe it is. Rygong, or something like that. So, his ninja power is throwing a dice to determine which attack he uses. Actually, it's a die because he's using 1, not 2. This is a mistake that they keep making. One of those is a die. 2 or more is dice. Anyway, and his attacks are very, very... one of his attacks is a steam kettle. Okay, and he announces all of them anyway after he rolls a die anyway. So the Rangers battle him back. Brody goes off to detention, and in trying to prove that this rhino monster exists, Victor and Monty that they have it on tape. Well, all they got on tape is how Principal Hastings' compass ended up in Brody's backpack. And it was because the net flew it over there. Now, I don't necessarily know if a net could be that powerful. It might be, but I don't know for sure. So, of course, Principal Hastings apologizes to Brody and actually says that she does commend him for standing his ground and not admitting to something that he didn't do, thus giving Principal Hastings what she wanted to hear. And he's allowed to go and be on the camping trip. Victor and Monty's have to stay in detention, and we actually do not see them for the rest of the episode. So then is when this episode actually turned into probably the single best of the season just because of this climax. The regular thing, so eventually using a morphing trick where they morph the entire team, the Rangers defeat Rygong, or whatever his name is, that rhino monster of the Galactic Ninjas. And then he gets gigantified, they call the Zords, they use the Zords to destroy him. Madame Odious gets his medallion, and then immediately takes the medallion of the 4th Galactic Ninja. The female one that looks like a wasp. And she uses the Galactic Ninja's henchman, or whatever, turns them into a Zord for her, that is powered by each of the Galactic Ninja's 4 medallions. And she actually ends up taking down all 3 Megazords. Not just the Bull Rider Megazord, the Ninja Steel Megazord, and the Lionfire Megazord. Now, they're not destroyed, but the stars that summon them are burnt and badly damaged. But she doesn't have enough power to actually destroy the Rangers because she has to recharge each of these medallions. Wouldn't that be a drawback to the Galactic Ninjas? That their powers would have to be recharged when they run out of... So, what are these medallions? Upgraded batteries? Because if these medallions are so powerful that they help the Galactic Ninjas with stuff, why then do they run out of power? Just throwing that out there. Anyway, it's going to take a day to recharge the batteries. So the Rangers have a day to figure out how to stop Odious' Zord. And that's where this episode ends, with a to be continued tag going into the hiatus. They have finally realized if you're going to do this hiatus, what to do with it. Use a cliffhanger, because that is the best way to do anything with this hiatus. Now, why the hiatus is before the end of a 4-part story arc, I will never know. You could have just used this as 4 episodes leading into the finale, and it would probably not made a difference, given that 3 of them are filler anyway, and this one had it not been, and episode 8 had it not been for the ending would have been filler. But yeah, just due to the finale alone, just due to the finish of episode 8, this episode, episode 8, caught red-handed, this is probably the single best episode of Ninja Steel just due to its finale, just due to its finish, because they're actually they're actually going on hiatus with actual tension. And they actually built tension for when they come back in about 4 months' time. Which, again, given a 4-month hiatus is probably not a smart way to complete this story arc. But I'm not the people over there. So, yeah. This was arguably, this was the better episode of all of the Power Ranger Ninja Steel Super Ninja episodes. Other than probably the premiere, because at least that felt like a Power Ranger episode. But episode 8 was still even remotely better than that. So, that's my review of both episodes 7 and 8. When Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel comes back from hiatus in, I'm going to guess, late August. I think it'll probably be the final Saturday in August, if my math, I'm guessing. I will resume with episode 9's review of Power Rangers Ninja Steel. So if you like this, Super Ninja Steel. So if you like this video, like button down there, subscribe button down there. Thanks for watching. Bye.